Yes, I think migration certainly is one of the biggest issues for the European Union, where member states so far have not found any real structural long-term solution of how to manage the question. You have the internal open border Schengen system, but you have not yet agreed on a system on how to protect the EU's external border, how to deal with refugees entering the Union. Where do they go? They have a system in place which doesn't work too well, and yes, I think this is one of the most crucial issues the EU will have to solve in the long run.
Do you see a path forward for the Commission, for Frau Merkel, for the rest of the key European leaders to solve this? Or actually, is it going to become protracted? Is it going to be long-term? And actually, there is no easy solution.
Well, I don't think we should hope for an easy solution this weekend, though we should hope for it, but we should not expect it. There's simply the divisions between the EU member states are too deeply entrenched, and some of these negotiations have been going on for years at this point. So I don't think we will find any quick solution. It will be protracted. But nevertheless, I think there might be some short-term fixes. There might be some bilateral agreements, some trilateral agreements between Germany and other EU member states to deal with secondary movements inside the Union. But I don't think that this issue will be solved long-term.
Greece is one of those deals you're talking about, right? I thought one of the FT headlines was just extraordinary, that Greece is ready to help Merkel to take back asylum seekers after the Greek crisis and all the acrimony between Germany and Greece, that Alexis Tsipras, who was very much out in the cold for many years, seen as a rebel coming in to take over Greece, could actually cut a deal with Merkel on this very issue.
Yes, it's quite astonishing, actually, in how far the Germans, despite having been rather unpopular with some southern EU countries over the last couple of years, now are actually looking like they will receive help from them. But you also have to see that this is an important crisis for Germany. And if Merkel goes home empty-handed from this summit with nothing to show, there might be a big crisis looming for the German government. And this, by extension, will be another crisis for the European Union as a whole. So I think many other member states are actually incentivized to try to stabilize the Merkel government, even if there have been disagreements in the past.
Which tells us something about the love-hate relationship that's gone on, even though there may not be a lot of love lost with Germany, that many recognise the power of Angela Merkel and her ability to keep the bloc in a version of harmony, if we can call it that.
No, that is certainly true. So we see that, despite her not being too popular, at least she's a stable leader, and if you see what else happens in the Union currently, what other issues there are, I think at least one anchor of stability who has been there for more than a decade and knows how to maneuver the European policy landscape. That's something many are quite keen on keeping.
This is not new news. I mean, we've been here before. The Syrian refugees coming through Turkey presented the initial challenge, I think, for the EU in recent years. And we did a deal, and we paid, and we're paying still, effectively, the rent of 3.5 million Syrian refugees who are now in Turkey. Is there a risk that that deal could unravel as a result of whatever comes out of a current round of negotiations for an agreement? Because it seems President Erdogan is becoming a little fed up with the EU's behaviour, not only towards these migrants, but also around Turkey's accession path.
This is one of the big risks in the EU's current strategy of managing its border security, by simply outsourcing the issue and basically paying off third countries to keep refugees away. But I think the issue is that rather than trying to build something more stable, more internal to the European Union, we see that the EU wants to expand on the Turkey model, and that's the same kind of deal with countries in the Sahel, in Northern Africa. And yes, I think it's a problematic solution, but it's the way the EU wants to go, simply because it's an easy way of pushing the problem aside, throwing money at it, and thinking, okay, as long as they take care of it, we don't have to.